Hello and welcome to this video about practical goal achievement. This will help you in any area of your life, including making money. The fact is, without compelling goals, you will not achieve what you really want to in either your business or your personal life. Following a system such as this diligently, however, you will achieve more goals and with more ease, including making more money. Imagine for a moment throwing a dart without a dartboard as a target. You see, if you're setting a goal, whether it be making money or something personal or professional, you must have a target to aim for. The basics of goal achievement are shown to us by the mechanics of a system known as SMART goals. The S stands for specific. Now I'm going to use my example of running the London Marathon back in 2002, or setting a goal as the London Marathon in 2002, as the example we can follow through here. And I'll also show you in a minute a cool tool, a practical tool that will also help. So it must be specific. Mine was clear and specific to run the London Marathon. M stands for measurable. At the end of the run, I'd either run the marathon, either run the 26.2 miles, or I hadn't. So you must be able to see that you've achieved a goal. Which leads us to A for achievable. Is your goal actually achievable in the first place? My goal of running a marathon was clearly achievable because other people had done it, providing I put in the training. R is for realistic. Now I personally have to say I don't like the realistic tag. I think that holds people back and actually encourages people to set lower goals than they can actually achieve. So I personally suggest you go for big lofty goals. But that is another video for another day. Given I was 44 when I set this goal of running a marathon and had only ever run short distances in the past, and was at the time of setting the goal actually injured, had a bad ankle, then you could argue that it was not realistic for me to set a goal to run a marathon. Do you get my drift? However, what I'm saying is set a big goal and just go for it. And T is for time bound. So yes, mine was time bound. It was April 2002. That was the goal, that was the target. The reason many people don't achieve their goals is actually they don't make the decision to actually set the goal in the first place. They've no idea how to achieve the goal, so they just don't bother. They can't see all the steps at the beginning, so again, they just don't bother. I know many people that have said, I fancy running a marathon, but they haven't, and that's because they think, how do I run 26.2 miles? They don't know, so they don't set the goal to start with. So if it's too big or scary, it puts people off. That's not the point. What you should do is set the goal anyway if it's something you want to achieve, and then these systems will help you achieve them. If you imagine a car driving at night, the car, it's dark, the car has its headlights on, all you can see is the extent of the car beam, 30, 40 feet, wherever the car beam goes. Now, your goals are exactly the same. You don't have to see the final outcome when you set the goal. I had no idea when I set the goal of running a London Marathon how I would run 26.2 miles when I'd never run anywhere near that distance before. So in the same way that as you drive your car, the headlight is moving forward with you, and therefore you start to see the next turn in the road, the next junction coming up, or a crossroads. The same will happen with your goals. If you just start with what's immediately in front of you, write down the things that you can immediately see you need to do, the rest of the journey will be revealed to you as each step is achieved. So let's take my example of running the London Marathon and use a practical way of helping you achieve it. So what I want you to do to start with is just draw a triangle or a pyramid shape on a piece of paper. If you then turn it into a proper pyramid with like brick type structures by drawing horizontal lines from left to right, and then turning them into bricks by drawing vertical lines from top to bottom, so you're turning each layer into a series of bricks, and obviously as you progress to the top of the pyramid you have just one brick at the pinnacle. Now if you then write your goal, so in my case it was to run the marathon, in that top box, I'll show you how this works. All you do is, and I've now taken the outside structure away, but you can keep it there if you want. All you now do is you start to write the things that you know you need to start with. So you're putting the tiny steps. Now my tiny steps for the marathon is, I was injured at the time, so I knew I had to make an appointment to see the doctor. I knew I needed to see a doctor. I needed to also see a specialist. Start physiotherapy, start stretching. Obviously needed to get an application form and actually apply for the London Marathon. Possibly get a personal trainer. I definitely needed to buy some more running shoes. So all I'd done is come up with a handful of steps that I could see. I had no idea how that would take me to ultimately running a marathon. So you just start with the tiny steps that you can see. It's that old Chinese proverb, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. And achieving your goal, whatever it be, whether it's to run a marathon, to plan a wedding, or to make money online, you just start with the first steps. Now, as you achieve various steps, I suggest you take a coloured highlighter and mark them off. That will show you some real progression. It will excite you. It will reconfirm mentally that you have the success stories in place. So as you see small steps being achieved, it all helps to note it. So just keep marking them off and adding new steps as you see them. So this model is used by just filling in the boxes, and it really works. It really helped me to achieve my goal, and it will for you too. So add new steps, mark them off as you see you've done them, and you will ultimately get to your goal. And can you see how simple that is? I just started with a few steps and then ultimately added more steps as they become apparent what I needed them to be. Very simple, practical tool. So I ended up completing the marathon in a time of 3 hours 55 minutes. I didn't actually do it in 2002. I suffered a serious injury. And that's, again, you have to overcome hurdles. So I come back in 2003. So I never even started a 2002 marathon. So I had to delay it for a full year to overcome an injury. And then I ran the 2003 marathon for 3 hours 55 minutes, age 46. I also went on to run the New York Marathon. So this is just a practical guide on how you can achieve goals. I hope you found that useful. Go through it as many times as you need to understand it, but this works. I've used it ever since I set out that goal to run the marathon in 2002. It's just a simple, practical tool. It works. It's very visual. You could, draw that diagram out, pin it on your wall next to where you're working or something, and it will help you.